Hey, this is Mr. Warden. This is your pre-algebra exit ticket 29.1 video key. So here we have these two triangles, and we're considering the sequence of transformations that went from RTS to object ABC. And I don't know what that is. I must have put a period in there somehow. And then we're also going to look at the transformation sequence that made the larger image from the smaller object. So let's start with this one. So we're going from RTS, so this is RTS, to ABC. Well, the first thing you might consider is that there has been some sort of reflection. So RTS must have reflected over the y-axis. So here we would have R prime, here we would have T prime, and let's see here, that's 5, so this will be -5 for S prime. So that would be S prime, and this would be R prime, and that would be T prime right there. Okay, and that's our first triangle. I'll just sort of make a little dotted line for this. That's our first transformation. Okay. It could have been done in the other order. That's fine. So this is one way to describe it. One way to describe it is that we have reflected, so one, reflected RTS over the y-axis. Okay? And then we would have dilated it. So currently, T prime is 1 over and 3 down, and B, which would be T double prime, is 2 over and 6 down. So we've dilated T by a factor of 2. So, and we've also going to have dilated S prime. S prime is currently at -5, -3, and it ends up at C, which will be S double prime. So that'd be like S double prime here. And this B is T double prime. And up here at the top, I'll move it up a little bit so you can see. Up here at the top, this is going to be R double prime. The A is R double prime, if that helps you, just to keep track of things. So R prime goes from 1 over and 4 up. So at, actually, I'm sorry, 1 over and 5 up. So 1, 5, it goes from 1, 5 to 2, 10. So that's also a doubling of X and Y. And so our center of dilation is at the origin. Okay, so all of these, the X and Y for R prime, gets doubled to get to R double prime, or to the double prime to the second one. So dilated by a factor of 2 with a center of dilation at the origin. Okay, we could have instead dilated first and then reflected. Okay, just to be clear that that is a possibility. We could have done it that way, and we would have ended up with the same result. Okay, so erase all this. So we could have first dilated RTS. We would have ended up with this. This one I think will be off the page a little bit, but we would end up here. No, let's see, that's 5 over, so that's not right. So this would end up 3 down, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's about 10, and then we down here. So something like this. So yeah, we would draw a line from here and on to here. That's about right. Something like that. And then let's see, R here would have ended up going up. Let's see, we would go over 1 and up to 10. So R would end up here. That'd be R prime. And T would have ended up 1 over and down 3. So that would have been t. So when and here's our new triangle like this. And that new triangle could just be reflected to make ABC, because this is a mirror image. Our dilation is a mirror image. So I could have done it in the other direction. So let me stop that, go down here, or the other way around. Okay, now let's take a look at down here in this number 2. So we've got this transformation. We're looking for a sequence of transformations. This is a little simpler. So we got this smaller triangle. We would have translated it up by 4. When it's up by 4, this point goes up by 4 to here. This point goes up by 4, and this point goes up by 4. And then we would have dilated it by a factor of 2 with a center of dilation here at 2, 5. So let's capture all of that. Okay, 1, we would have translated up by 4, and then 2 dilated by a factor of 2. Okay, and that would have been at a center of dilation at 2, 5. Now let's see, could we have gone the other way around? Okay. Could we have dilated first by a factor of 2 at a center of 2, 5? Okay, if we had done that, this point would stay the same place. This point would have gone out to here and then down 4. So it would have ended up here. And this point would have simply gone down 4. So we'd have this triangle here. Then for us to do the translation up, we would have had to translate up by 8. So the reverse could be done. Okay, so we could have done this. Dilate by a factor of 2 at a center of dilation at 2, 5. Actually, this way we don't have to go up by 4. So if we change the center, this is another way we could do this. Okay, there's a few different ways we can do this. And then translated up by 8. So the order does matter, or the center of dilation matters. So, or we could have done this. We had dilated by a factor of 2 at this center right here. Then this point goes to here, this point goes to here, and this point stays still. If we had a center of dilation at 2, 1 instead of 2, 5, then we just have to translate up by 4, and we'd be in position. So you have to pay attention to a little bit of that scaling because the dilation changes the size. You have to check out your options here. So here's just 3 different ways we could have done the sequence of transformations, and they don't quite go in different orders because you have to make some adjustments. I hope that was helpful.